written it honestly. It's there for you to read. If I was to ever write a book, it would be written, locked away, to be opened after I have left this world, so that I don't have to worry about whether I've upset anybody and how many people I will have to apologize after that book has been published. Because those are the only two ways you can write an honest autobiography. Otherwise, if you're going to sit back and think, अरे मैंने इसके बारे में ये लिखा, वो मेरे बारे में क्या सोचेंगे, इसका जवाब क्या आएगा, फिर आप कभी लिख नहीं पाओगे. Professor Koul's love for writing also doesn't stop at this book. We have all been treated to his thoughts on subjects that have nothing to do with his area of specialization. As his daughter rightly pointed out, how many of us would think to write an article on harp, on Nagru, or some of the other diverse subjects that he has written on? I mean, for some of us, truly, picking up that newspaper and reading it, the pleasure of reading comes from the time when his articles are published and we get to see something different that he's written about. But as I said, this book is in large part a love letter to the soil on which we sit. But it's not just words, it translates into action. I've lost count of the number of times Koul Sahab and I have crossed paths in an aircraft, where he's either been flying into Srinagar to treat people or flying out from Srinagar having spent his weekend here. The large part of my association with Professor Koul Sahab is sitting and chatting in aircrafts and in the lounge in the airport. Now, he could very easily have done what very many in his profession do, which is to try and amass as much wealth as possible and not worry about giving to those who can't afford this quality of treatment. But every time I drive from Srinagar to Shupanya, as I did 3 days ago on the Mughal Road, just as you're coming near Hawaz in Pulwama, if you look towards the right, you will see the center that stands there on the road, which was established in memory of his late mother, Gauri Koul. Again, serving two purposes. One, as a tribute to his mother, who gave him so much. That is for what has happened in the past. And his desire to give something to the future, which is to help somebody with treatment they otherwise would not be able to access here. The book also weaves in, as he rightly points out, stories of his travels to some parts of the world that are actually, for a person of this part of from our country, unpopular to travel to. But again, he does it knowing that that's part of who he is. So he will put in the pictures, he'll put a picture walking across Wagah border. He'll put a picture with the leadership of our neighboring country. He will talk about his experiences there. And that's as it should be. Because this is what makes up our lives. Our lives are not sanitized and disinfected. Our lives are the experiences that come together that results in a book like When the Heart Speaks. So for everything that Professor Koul has done as a surgeon, as a cardiologist, as a doctor, but perhaps more than that, for everything that he has done as a human being in wanting to help people. Professor Saab, we are grateful and we wish you well, and we hope that the Gauri Koul Foundation that was set up with so much love and affection by you in memory of your mother, it continues to thrive, it continues to be treat people who otherwise would not be able to access this treatment. And more than everything else, we hope that you continue to write the way you do, that a third edition of your autobiography comes up in the not too distant future with more stories and more anecdotes and more experiences to regale us. On my own behalf, I'm grateful that you invited me, and on everybody else's behalf here, I will just say that we are grateful for the service that you give to humanity, and we hope that this continues for many, many years to come, because if a cardiologist doesn't live a long life, what hope do the rest of us have? Thank you.